Hello everyone, my name is Kathleen and today we'll be talking about dispositions of a professional educator. I'll start by addressing a few of the dispositions that I feel like I possess in their entirety. Then I'll talk about some dispositions that I'm still developing. I will also be talking about what a professional educator looks like and what standards guide their thinking and actions. I believe I possess 8 out of the 10 dispositions, so let's break them down. The first disposition I'd like to discuss is the respect for a diversity of others. I was able to observe and student teach in a variety of schools. Those placements, as well as my current teaching position, have led me to have experience with a broad array of students. I've had students with different socioeconomic statuses, education levels, backgrounds, cultures, gender identities, sexual orientations, and disabilities. And in my classroom, differences in diversity are celebrated and embraced. In addition, I try to promote diversity by presenting students with scientists from different backgrounds. Lastly, when inappropriate behavior is either observed by myself or it's reported to me, I take it as a learning tool. I try to educate the student about why their behavior was inappropriate, and I challenge students to identify inappropriate behavior to make sure that my classroom remains a safe learning environment. The second disposition is fairness. I like to build relationships with my students to help them with problem-solving skills or any issues or concerns they may have. Engaging in conversations about their weekend plans or their favorite things or them just telling me jokes helps build relationship, and it can inform me about challenges they face outside of school. Furthermore, I implement equitable practices into my room to make sure all students have the ability to learn and access to materials. I actively engage in reflection. I will assess the effectiveness of my teaching during class and at the end of the day. If I notice my students are struggling, I will change how I'm teaching during class. Then I will improve so the next class is even better. Finally, at the end of the day, I will assess all the classes and determine what I need to change for the following year. I am lucky enough to find myself a group of teachers who allow me to observe them and ask them questions to also improve my effectiveness. A disposition favored by many science teachers like myself is curiosity. Activities are based on real-world phenomena that is relevant to students. Student inquiry guides the investigation, and higher-order questions allow students to think critically about the phenomena. Students often work in groups or they collaborate to mimic real-world scientists. Honesty is an integral part of my classroom. I say what I mean and I mean what I say. I make sure that I am truthful with my students and transparent with them so I can model how honesty works in the classroom. In addition, I make sure that students are at the center of the decision-making process, and I value their input greatly. Lastly, I believe that apologizing is a very important part of honesty. I will always apologize for any mistakes that I make or any ineffective teaching. That way, it also incorporates some fairness. Compassion is the heart of teaching. It's impossible to be an educator without caring for each and every one of your students. Through caring, you learn about their interests, strengths, and weaknesses. I make it a point to know each one of my students beyond the classroom and take a genuine interest in them. Some of them are pretty interesting. This also helps with their academics. They feel more comfortable asking questions for help or for any clarification they need on assignments. This also allows me to relate material to them because I know what they're interested in, and that makes me a more effective teacher. The last disposition I feel I possess is advocacy. Advocacy is modeled through behaviors similar to fairness and compassion. I have helped build 504 plans and add to IEPs, and I have also helped students reach out for academic help in other classes. Lastly, I have helped students get emotional and mental support if needed. There are 2 dispositions that I feel I'm still developing: high expectations and dedication. Let's take a look at high expectations first. I have high expectations for all students in my class and my classroom as a whole, and my students are involved in making those expectations at the start of each year. I have personalized goals for each one of my students. However, I need to improve using knowledge to individualize instruction. I need to use individualized instruction to be able to help each student reach that personal goal. Lastly, let's take a look at dedication. I am very dedicated and committed to teaching as a career. However, my first year teaching this past year, it was difficult finding a balance between work and life. This resulted in untimely grading. Next year, my goal is to make sure that I find a better balance to be able to provide fair and equal opportunity to my students by grading on time. Finally, let's talk about what a professional educator looks like and the standards that guide their thinking and actions. A professional educator, in my opinion, embodies each one of these dispositions in their entirety. They also take it one step further by seeking areas of improvement all the time. The standards that guide a majority of teachers are outlined in the Code of Ethics for each state. I also believe that most educators have a strong set of morals that help guide them in the classroom. Lastly, psychology and educational theories help inform instruction. Take care. Thank you for listening. Bye.